they do feel like a red flag, especially dealing with this type of stuff as long as I have. When I get actually scared, I realize that this is okay, red flag, pay attention and try not to react to this, and it'll keep going. Because other ones that are, like translucent, or you can you can see through them. Those are just kind of like trying to let you know they're there. And it's a lot of times, most of the time, those are like people that have passed. Sometimes I have noticed that they're, some of them have kind of like an elemental type quality. That's similar to how a fairy, I did not know, for the longest, I thought that kind of fairies, was like, oh, that'd be great if they were real, but I was very skeptical until I saw one. But they're kind of similar to that. They're just a lot smaller.
I get that,
like different.
and I can appreciate that. And I think a lot of people are very curious about the paranormal. For people out there who may hear their house settling, or little noises and nicks on the walls, or the sounds of voices that may not be there. How does one know if their home is haunted?
Well, be honest, most places are going to have a little bit of activity. I mean, it's just, yeah, most places will have a little bit of spirit activity come through it or whatnot. That's why I try to kind of keep mine as clear as possible. I mean, of course, I'm going to get some coming up like, hey, can you help me out here? But if you are actually having depends on if it's a residual haunting or actually active where they are interacting with you. If, I've had them okay, knock for me if if you can understand me. And when I get that kind of response, I will definitely, there goes the word investigate. I will try to figure out, if I cannot pick up on what it is I'm dealing with, I will definitely kind of tune more into like the land and surrounding things about it. Because sometimes it's something just that's been there a real long time ago. And I'm sorry, I heard as we're talking, I'm hearing something out of my head, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. But it's weird because like I picked up on, there's a place in San Antonio, Texas or near San Antonio that I went to, and I went into what they call the underground Indian raid shelter. And I'm sitting there and I hear like Indians like charging, and they're doing their war cry, and I can even hear the hooves of the horses, and I jump up because it was so loud right behind me, like they were. I jump up and I turn around, and my first instinct, it was funny because of course my children were not with me, but I go to find my kids, and it was like I was picking up like a female mother's the way she reacted to being raided. And I had always kind of looked towards the other side about, how the, Indians were done. But boy, it made me look at things a whole new perspective, because there was like everybody was, there was a lot of awful death and things surrounded it during that time. And, I could only imagine what it was like for the women trying to protect her kids as much as she could. And so, yeah, that one was quite interesting. Yeah, and sometimes they're just quite noisy, to be honest. If they're noisy, sometimes that's I like to go ahead and not let those hang around if they're going to disturb, especially with kids. That's kind of my thing. It's like, you mess with my kids, we got problems. And that's always been the number one rule here.
Okay, but for you, when you go to someone's house and they say it's never really been haunted before, we haven't had anything weird, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing, cups going across the counter. I'm hearing the tap water running in the bathroom when no one's home but me. I'm seeing my dogs being what looks like being chased out of bedrooms. I mean, people are starting to see a little bit more, and we see this through COVID times with all the lockdowns that have happened where people aren't home during the day and all of a sudden they're looking around their house saying, I got some weird stuff going on.
That's something that is you know what? Boom. That's so interesting because a lot of times, like if you ever see the paranormal shows, they always do it at night. Why is it done at night? Oh, okay. Creep factor for one. Yes. But at nighttime, realize the world's quieter. Everything's more still. You're not getting so much background noise. But if you're home during the day and things are quiet and still and such, then yes, you are going to notice the things that you didn't notice before because there is the silence and such. So if you have that home setting like you would at night when you start kind of hearing weird things, doesn't mean you're just haunted during the night. That's never really the case. You just have never noticed it during the day because you're so busy cooking or whatnot. And once, these people that have had the time at home with COVID and such, it's, it's people are seeing a lot more, of course. And with online shopping, I know a lot of people like to go and get I have a lot of friends that go and do antiquing. I'm like, be careful what you get. I'm like, just seriously, they think I'm crazy. But as a kid, my mom used to go antiquing all the time. My grandmother would do it before her. And I remember there was a picture in our house that me and my sister would avoid it was a living room. It was a second living room, but we would not even go in there because they kept saying, why do you hate that picture? So we hate it. It's bad. We didn't understand quite all of the way our gifts worked at that time, but we knew that we did not like the energy that we were feeling off of that picture. So yeah, watch what you buy, especially right now especially if you have to be home with it all the time.
Well, that's something we haven't talked about on the show for a long time is haunted objects and haunted items. I mean, if you go into an antique store, what's the chances of actually getting something that's haunted? Because I've known someone who owns an antique store, and he says, we have some weird stuff happening here, and he's into the paranormal as well. He's like, but not every item is, but we have a lot of people coming in because everybody wants that haunted item, so that way they have that talking piece in their house, not knowing what that spirit may be attached to it.
Oh, yes. It's okay. From what I've noticed, it depends. Like, okay, it's going to sound crazy, but some of these car keys could get extremely, could be an object that would be like trigger object or whatnot because, well, if you're holding them all day and you're, kind of something that you're putting a lot of your living energy in, and then you go and pass. Well, it is literally just passed over to that object. What is it? The stone theory. Things like that. I know dolls are one that always kind of gets the rap. I do have one. She actually swapped. She swapped on me. She had this really creepy. I guess you'd call it vessel beforehand, and she let me know that she decided she thought my living dead doll was way cooler, and that's the one she chose. So that was quite interesting. But I do know that some people that if a spirit does not want to leave, that there are ways to let them, use the vessel, so they can have a spirit vessel. I will just give those. I've taken several different ones like that. Everybody talks about Ouija boards. There are some that will have hauntings, but to me, it's not quite a haunting. It is the energy that has been caught on that said board. I have one that a friend of mine brought me. He works for a prison, and it was something that was confiscated out of a prisoner's, cell. Sorry, I was trying to use the right word, but cell. And I do. I took that out actually the other day. I usually keep it put away and kind of like wrapped because I'm not really crazy about the energy off of it because whoever made it, because they made this board and so that means that they put their actual living energy into this board. So that even if this person is not passed away, it can actually cause some ruckus as well. Energy is energy, whether it is from the living or the dead. That board itself could be kind of, will have like, like I said, I do keep that one actually shut away because of, it's just of all my boards that I have quite a few. That one is the one that I'm like, I like to keep this one just under lock and key. And it's kind of funny because most people think that, all Ouija boards are scary or whatnot. And I mean, that one's the one that's kind of the most eerie to me. Like also I have, and I keep this put away as well. I know this sounds funny, but I do own a lot of, I would say, haunted or questionable objects. Some of them I've used for trigger, and some of them I use in my magic practice as well. But I have crawl space dirt from John Wayne Gacy from his home before they tore it down.
What do you have from there?
Crawl space dirt. Where
Ew.
his, where.
Ew.
I know. Yes.
Out of all the dirt to have.
Yes, I know.
There's probably DNA in there.
That's what I'm saying. It makes a really neat trigger object, especially if you're going to, and I did. I when I first got it, I pulled out my spirit box and boy, I turned it off because after I heard help, 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 I said whoop, and yeah, no way, because that was quite and that just felt so uncomfortable. It's like, man, that sucks, because what do you do? It's I can't help you, dude. It already happened. That one was uncomfortable. But yeah, I have that. But now I kind of use that more in my magic practice. I do still keep it locked up, but like I will take it out on different, like this recently, I took it with me to this last investigation. And what I didn't know at first was I kept being drawn and one channeling session that the main investigator was doing. I kept looking behind me. There was this picture that kept getting my attention. And I asked the owner later, I was like, what is this picture? She said, that's John Wayne Gacy. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. I had the dirt there in the room with me. And that's why I kept turning around. And I did not realize she had a lot of collectible items, kind of more auditorium type things. And I kept looking at that picture of Gacy, but I didn't realize I was holding and messing with that dirt all night long.
Okay, so, I got to cut you off there and ask you, as we got about 2.5 minutes, what is the addiction for a lot of people in this field to tie themselves to very macabre objects, whether it's soil from underneath John Wayne Gacy's house or whether it's a haunted object, a haunted clock or doll? I mean, we see these are some of the hottest objects. We have a curiosity shop just in the next town below, and literally she gets, during the tourist season, every day people coming in there asking for haunted objects. And
wow,
if that's happening up here, it's probably happening everywhere, not only in North America, but the world. So the curiosity factor I get, but what is the addiction to adding to a collection like this?
Let's be honest. I'm sure for some it is because of movies. You watch the movie, the Conjuring or whatever, and that series and stuff, and it's all fun and games and stuff until you really got a problem on your hands. Or for others, it is because, I guess I try to understand that energy that, when it came with the serial killer stuff, because that's not the only serial killer item I have, which I do have a letter from the Night Stalker too that he had wrote somebody, but it's to try to see the triggers. If these have caught enough of that person's energy that that it actually can cause, like manifestations of spirits and such. So it's kind of like seeing how commonplace that can be. So yeah, I do feel for whoever lives on that property now, because that soil is, it's like I have a tiny jar and it's insanely active, I guess you'd say.
That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. My friend, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to commercial here at the top of the hour, and we're going to continue the paranormal talk. We're going to get into some magic, some spell casting. Let's get a little witchy next hour. I'd love to get a little witchy next hour. Would you? Bonnie Woodruff is our guest tonight. She is a paranormal investigator. She is a magic practitioner. She is a channeler. We're going to get into a lot of this really cool stuff when we come back on Spaced Out Radio with Bonnie. And we will take your questions as well, because we're going to open up the chat rooms to all your questions about the paranormal. Bonnie Woodruff, our guest. We continue on with hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this. All right, I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back, okay?
Spaced Out Radio, this is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR, where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com, where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com, and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hi. This is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world, and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind, from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
All right, we're back. We've got 2 minutes. Just so you guys know, we'll be adding to the beard collection in the studio, as Science Bob has mailed his beard that he shaved off, his COVID beard, to us. So we will now have a fourth beard in the studio. I'm kind of excited about that. Hi, Kim Jellin. How are you? Nice to see you, Kim Jellin. Who else we got? Chris Reap. Who else is new in here that I haven't said hello to? We're good so far. I think we're caught up. Alicia Schneider, welcome to our channel. How are you? Thank you for joining us. If you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Skraling, welcome to our Spaced Out Radio channel. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. We'd appreciate it. Nicholas Shaughnessy, how are you? Been a while. How are you? There she is, everyone. Gorgeous Amy Vegas O. There she is. Give her a round of applause, everyone. All right. We got about 25 seconds. A big thank you to Eric, to Cat Chaser, and to Mike's Adventures for the amazing super chats. It's a great way to support what we do on this show. Also, if you're brand new, hitting that thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs sideways, and hitting that subscribe button and ring that bell really helps. And you can do some shopping. Get yourself a Spaced Out Radio t-shirt at facebook.com/the SOR Vault. Hey, Fapster, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. We want to thank everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What do you got for us tonight, Clam? Karyotype. Karyotype is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight talking the paranormal with our guest, Bonnie Woodruff. She's based out of Texas. She goes chasing ghosts. Why? Because she finds it fun. Who finds it fun? Bonnie does. And we say thank you for coming back, Bonnie.
Yes, of course.
All right. I want to talk to you a little bit about channeling before we get too deep into it. Now, for a lot of people who think of channeling, they think of grabbing a remote control for a television and flipping through the channels as quickly as they can to find something that they want to watch. But channeling in the spiritual world is a completely different topic. What's your definition of this, and how does it work?
For me, channeling, well, depending on what I'm channeling, automatic writing works best for me. I will start with that. I would say I've written in languages that I didn't know were even a language at first. Actually, last weekend, I wrote in Arabic, and there was luckily I did have somebody right there while I was doing it that was able to translate some of it. I have, I think the most odd one that I've done was Sumerian. They couldn't completely translate it, but they said it looks like it was a form of like Sumerian language. But if I'm doing it, just like doing a normal channel, like where I can, allow a spirit to really just, I don't want to say jump me because that's not always how it works, but it is letting them be able to use you to either get a message across. Most of the cases, especially if you're dealing with passed away people, that's going to be the main reason that they're wanting to use you as a channel. Like I was mentioning, to get get this key to my my loved ones. They need to find what's in this box, and such. I've also, when working with different spirits in this, witchy world, I've Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess. That was very interesting. With her, I used a lot of scrying with a black mirror. And like, even looking into it, it was like watching my whole face, my face change. And picking up imagery of what she was trying to tell me, that, sometimes we have to step past fear, especially with her, she kept showing this flame, like, you have to step past the fire, not be afraid to kind of go through this, it was more of a spiritual type fire. It was not one that, jump in a fire, get yourself burned. No, it was more of to reach like ascension, or to move up, little, like to level up, I guess you'd say. You have to kind of push yourself at times, and it was what I needed at that moment. But yeah, it was really interesting because, the symbolism, I would not have thought that she would give me the imagery of a phoenix, but that came across clear. And so, yeah, that was a really interesting working. But channeling can be interesting. It can be overwhelming because you can get stuff that just literally just seems kind of crazy or insane, but then you relay back and it's very, very valid.
Channeling a spirit where it comes into your body to communicate with you, that is one of the weirdest things I personally have experienced, and I know others have as well. For people who may not know what that's like, what's it like having a spirit enter your body and use all of your muscles, all of your vocal cords and everything to speak through you?
That is, yeah, you're right. It is a very awkward feeling because when I watch myself back, I'm like, ooh, number one, I like on Life Sci-Fi, I don't go back and watch a lot of it, but I do and I don't, because I'm like, ooh, look at what I do when I start channeling, because I'll twitch, but it's because you're literally, something else is kind of moving your muscles and whatnot, and it can, watching it back is like, it for me, it makes a lot more sense, but it's also like, I feel like ooh, I look like I have Tourette's or something. Because the movements are so, like I've noticed at times I've had like for whatever reason, a lot of my movements seem jerky, and I don't know if part of me is trying to push back a bit of that spirit, because sometimes it can be so overwhelming that you are still trying to maintain yourself in that, because I've always worried about completely letting something take over me, because I do want to still have control, because you never know when you're going to get a hold, or something's going to get a hold of you that really has ulterior motives, and who knows what could happen. But yeah, it's a very strange feeling, because you definitely can feel that presence. Not even like you can feel it, just like it's so much, like when your hair is raised on the back of your neck, but imagine that, but like almost like within you, like everything's got that weird chill and electricity in the air. Your whole body feels that way.
Does it happen often where a spirit will just walk into your body and take you over?
Not off. No. It's very funny. Like, it was something that I've always been very, I would say, I like to say lucky, because I can feel them come up before they, because I know a lot of people will just get jumped real fast and quick and not be able to push it back. But I will literally kind of raise and realize that there's something near, and it's like trying to press, and it sounds funny, but press into you. Like, the way I best can describe it best is when they're trying to really work on jumping in, is like when somebody, like if you're at a line in store or something, and somebody just stands uncomfortably close to you, that's what happens right before they're trying to jump. And but I can kind of like push, which is funny, if you learn how to work your energy, you can really kind of push back and put like a little bit of a wall there, especially if you're not quite sure what is trying to jump you.
Bonnie Woodruff is our guest tonight, talking paranormal on Spaced Out Radio. I have a question from